Hey man, so I made this song. You want to listen to it?
Oh, really? That's cool, but what EQ did you use for the vocal?
I just use stock plugins.
Oh, no, bro. You need to use Avalon EQ from Universal Audio.
Oh, really? I thought it sounded okay, but
If you want a smooth vocal sound, you need to get that.
I guess what you're saying makes sense. If I need to buy it in order to sound good, then I guess I have to buy it, right?
You need it. You need it.
But wait,
There is no way around it. You need it.
I can't use my interface? I need to buy a different interface to use it?
Yeah, that's why you need the new Universal Audio interface.
But wait, that's like almost $2,000. I already have an interface that works for me.
Yeah, all the pros use it. If you want to sound pro, you need to buy it. You need to spend money.
I need to spend more money in order to sound good. Hey guys, today I want to talk about why buying more gear or more plugins and just buying stuff can actually make you sound worse. If you stick around till the end, you will find out why spending more money on all these plugins and gear can actually make you sound worse. Now, most of the time I do advocate for people to spend as much as they can on gear, granted it's a reasonable amount. But lately I've been seeing a trend that, if I'm quite honest, it does repulse me a little bit. Being a part of forums and Facebook groups about audio, I've been sensing a trend that all these big audio companies are pushing, and many people are falling for it. I myself have fallen prey to this. It's a trap that has made me spend way more money than I initially planned for. And to be honest, it's actually made me sound worse, and I've noticed the same thing happen to many other people. Spending as much money as possible on gear and plugins always makes your music sound better. Now, the purpose of this video is to prove that buying more expensive gear is not needed if you want to make good quality music. Don't get me wrong, it can help you sound better, but only if you're recording talented people, amazing music, and if whoever's working on your music actually knows what they're doing. Here are 3 examples that prove this point. Number 1 is Israel Houghton. Houghton? I don't know. I've been a massive fan of his music, and I still don't quite know how to pronounce his last name. He is a Latin Grammy-winning, touring gospel artist that has been touring and has been really successful with his music for really many decades now. Successful would be an understatement when describing his career. Israel was actually on Pensado's Place, which, by the way, I recommend you check out if you haven't already. While being interviewed, he was asked what is the microphone that he uses to record in the studio. And we were all expecting a Neumann microphone, a very expensive tube microphone, given the legend that he is in gospel. But he shocked everyone. And guess what mic it is? If you guess in the comments, I will give you a cookie. Go ahead and guess in the comments. What mic it was. Israel said that he uses an SM58. An SM58 to record all his vocals, and he has for forever. That was shocking, even to the interviewers. They literally couldn't believe that such an amazing artist with so many accolades would record and still records with an SM58. It was shocking. And he said, that's just what my engineer gives me and I sing through it. But Israel is an amazing singer. He is an amazing songwriter. The people that he works with are also amazing. He has amazing musicians. And so the type of microphone that he uses is probably less than 1% as important as everything else. So the point here being that if you get caught up in what type of microphone you use, but you forget about the performance, the songwriting, and the arrangement, it doesn't matter at all what kind of microphone you use. If your performance is terrible, if your singing is terrible, if you don't know what you're doing when it comes to mic placement, if the song is no good, those are way more important than what type of microphone you use. So Israel can sing through a potato and still make it sound good because that's how talented he is and that's how much work he's put into his craft. The more expensive your gear is, the better your song will sound. Point number 2 is if your gear is the reason why things sound so great, then what makes you think that someone else can't just buy the same gear and have your same sound? What is it that sets you apart? Is it your gear? Or is it your creativity, your musicality, your songwriting, your craft? What is it that sets you apart? Anyone can copy you. Anyone can copy anyone if it's just about the gear. That's why we've seen many mixing engineers go completely in the box because they're saying, hey, it's not about the equipment that I have. Andrew Sheps, for example. There have been many other mixing engineers that have gone completely in the box or have stopped using specific hardware because they realize that's not what makes them great, right? Or that's not what makes their work successful. It's not the gear, it's what's up here, it's the experience, it's the talent. And so that's what you have to think about, and that's what you have to work on, and that's what you have to spend your money on. Example number 3 is Jaycen Joshua. Jaycen Joshua is one of the top mixing engineers really in the game right now, and especially when it comes to Spanish pop music and hip hop. So Jaycen Joshua, being really the king of pop music mixing right now, he's mixed Maroon 5, Ariana Grande, Beyonce, top artists. He has mixed or worked with many of them. In an interview, he was asked what he uses for specific tools, and he did give some specific tools out, but the most important thing that he said was, you will always sound better with the tool you know than with a new toy that you don't know. And that's because when it's a new toy, you might just start messing around with knobs, but you don't really know what you're doing. And so the whole point being is that all these companies and a lot of influencers are pushing you to buy new plugins. They're pushing you to buy new gear. And they're saying, you need this. This is a game changer. I have heard that so many times. This is a game changer, or it changed my whole workflow. It's impossible to upgrade every time someone says that. Because guess what? The tool that you know, even if it's a stock plugin, even if it's something that might not be as expensive as the Apollo, for example, if you know how to use it, it will be way better than a new tool that you have no idea how to use. Of course, once you learn how to use it, it might be beneficial in the long run, but you always want to make sure that you're doing things because it's going to affect your music, and it's going to be great for your music. It's going to sound better for your music, and it's not going to be just a new toy for you. This actually happened to me. I realized that I had fallen prey to all this marketing about buy the newest plugin, buy the newest gear. And now if you're a musician or an audio person or an artist, you know that you always want to buy the next microphone. You always want to buy the next guitar, the next keyboard, or the next keyboard patch, or the EQ plugin that's going to be the best thing because it's got AI and it's got this or that. There are so many things, but we forget that the basics are what's most important. A great song, a great performance, a great voice, great music. Again, my point here is to say, you don't need to keep spending money in order to make great music. You really can't make great music with inexpensive gear. If you do spend money, it would be much better spent on things like this. Jumpstart your music career. A book. Really, that kind of investment is going to yield way more than a new microphone that you might buy, a new plugin that you might buy. And I know this is tough love, but I've fallen prey to this too. So I want to help other people that are thinking, I need to spend all this money in order to make a career out of music, or maybe just in order to record my songs, I need to spend a lot of money. And there is a basic amount that you need to spend, but you don't need to keep spending money after money and after money. You can make great music with what you already have. Most of the time, if you think about it, the actual piece of gear doesn't change anyone's life. Someone has to know how to use it. Someone has to actually put audio through it, put music through it that's going to make it sound great. A guitar in itself makes no music. You have to actually find the talent to be able to play it. It's been said that the great guitarist CHET Atkins had a guitar one time, and it was a beautiful guitar, and someone said, oh my goodness, that guitar really sounds beautiful. And CHET Atkins went ahead, put the guitar down, and said, how does it sound now?
CHET Atkins.
Again, the instruments don't play themselves. The computer won't just record great music. The audio interface is not just going to have pristine quality and then all of a sudden change your whole sound of your music. That's not the way it works. It can give you a bump in quality, but don't listen to the marketing that tells you that you need this and you need that to sound pro. You really don't. You need something that is good enough to not get in the way of your recordings, and then you need the knowledge to be able to know how to work it. You must always remember that these audio companies like Universal Audio, Slate Digital, Waves, they exist to make money. I'm not saying that is a bad thing at all. I'm just saying that you cannot forget that their primary goal is to have a profit. If it wasn't because of that, they wouldn't be in business. That's what they're there for, is to have a profit. So don't think of them as a benevolent entity that just wants to bless people. They might give you certain things that can be blessings if you use them right, but at the end of the day, Their primary goal is to make money. So always be aware that when there's marketing that tells you you must own this new thing or it's the game-changing new whatever, just keep making music, and if you need to upgrade and have the money and have the desire, you can do so without feeling like you're missing out. The fear of missing out is really getting in the way of you recording new music. And the reason why is because you're spending all this energy into buying new things and thinking of what to buy. I completely fell victim to that too. I started to actually be more excited about the new piece of gear that I was going to buy than the music that I was going to make. And that's when I realized this is wrong. I got into this place because I wanted to make music. And you can always get something that's higher quality, but my songs are still the same way they were a year ago. My productions are still the same way. And why? Because I didn't work on my arrangement. And why? Because I didn't work on my arrangement. I didn't work on my songwriting. I didn't work on my singing abilities or my music playing abilities, on making new connections. I was more focused on being able to buy the new piece of gear, the new pedal that was going to make my guitar playing better, the new microphone that was going to make my voice sound better or someone else's voice sound better that I was going to produce, or the new interface, which I actually ended up upgrading and I really enjoy it, but it doesn't make my music actually sound better. The audio quality might be better, but the music stays the same. The number one thing you have to worry about is your music. As I near the end here of the video, I just want to let you know from the bottom of my heart, you do not need to spend money over and over on buying better gear to make better music. And if you do spend money for things that are going to make your music better, spend money on this. Spend money on audio engineers, on producers, not on gear or on software, unless you absolutely need it. It might make your music sound incrementally better or marginally better, but if you understand the business aspect, if you understand the musical aspect, the artistry, that will be a leap for your music, and it won't get in the way of your music career. Like buying new gear can get in the way of that. So next time you're on a forum or a friend tells you this, or you hear it on a video, someone say it's a game changer, it's a must buy, it's a new standard, don't fall prey to these marketing tactics. Now, I'm not telling you how to spend your money. Of course, spend your money however you would like to. I am just hoping that you don't fall prey to the same thing that I fell prey to. And that next time you hear these things, you understand that your time and money is better spent on actually improving your craft and dedicating yourself to it. With all the love, this is Andre, and I wish you the absolute most productive recording session. Stay golden.